Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today I'm going to do one of the most requested videos, and it is how me and Omar met. We're in the car, it's raining outside, so this is the best lighting we're going to get out here. And yeah, let's start off with how we met. So basically, I met Omar through my brother. He told me that there was someone that he wanted me to talk to in regards to marriage, and he knew that I guess both of us were looking to get married, and they had been friends for like many years prior to this. I did not meet Omar, so yeah, from there he just explained to me like he's Egyptian, he's a good brother, just all like the little basic stuff that I needed to know, and if I wanted to go through with the talking to him. So he was basically like the third party, and I checked in, I looked at like his background, I checked like who his family was and stuff like that. So yeah, how did it go down for you on your end?
I'm gonna let you finish because my part is very, very, very long.
But yeah, so after meeting Omar, we basically started talking and stuff like that via WhatsApp, with my brother obviously being present because I lived with my brother at the time. And it was like chemistry, I guess I'd say, like right away. Alhamdulillah. He was looking for, it didn't really matter to him who he was looking for, like revert, convert, as long as I'm Muslim, you know. And yeah.
All right, so my turn. I'm not gonna try to make this too long, but I think this might be helpful for a lot of the brothers and the sisters to kind of take in, because the way that we met was very, I guess, very untraditional, but at the same time, though, we kept it, you know, as halal as possible. You know, we're hopefully allowing Allah to put barakah in our marriage, right? So first things first. I married Jess, or we got married technically, when we were both 26 years of age.
We're the same age.
We're the same age, and just because I said that now, I'm not gonna tell you how old I am, because then you'd ask how old she is, and that's none of your business. But the thing is, though, when we got married initially, I've been wanting to get married since the age of 32. Sorry, since the age of 22.
22, yeah.
Yeah, and I was looking. I don't know what it was. I've always asked people, you know, about certain things about marriage. Eventually, I started getting to a point where I was starting to ask people, hey, if you know someone with a particular, you know, kind of, I guess you could say, mental state, characteristics, you know, just let me know, blah, blah, blah. I talked to my friends. I talked to the local people that I would meet inside the masjid. I talked to my parents. I talked to every single person that I knew. People always ask you, what are you up to? And I'll be like, I'm trying to get married, right? So it just straight up. And now I ended up hitting a point where in my life I said to myself, I don't know, I couldn't find a significant other here in Canada. Even though I'm Canadian,
We're Canadian.
Well, yeah. Even though I was Canadian, I wasn't able to find someone to my liking, to my choosing, to, I guess, my lifestyle. So I ended up getting a job offer to live out in Turkey. And for all the guys out there, hey, Turkey, you get the best of both worlds. But when I was there, though, it just still didn't happen. And subhanAllah, when I was there, her brother ended up calling me one day, just checking up, absolutely nothing in mind, just saying, hey, how are you? And that was supposed to be a 2-minute phone call or so, and that ended up turning into maybe a 2-hour phone call. And I still never knew how many brothers, how many sisters he had. I don't get into people's business, not my business, so I don't bother people. But, you know, I started telling them that I'm looking for A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z. And eventually I got to a point where at the end of the conversation, he goes and tells me, he's like, man, you know, you're really looking for a lot, but just curiosity, if I found someone for you that meets all the criteria you just ask, are you ready? And by Allah, when he asked me that question, I had a sense of like, you know, butterfly in my stomach. But I said to myself, I'm like, yo, if you can find me everything that I want, why the hell wouldn't I want it? Right? And subhanAllah, within 2 weeks' time, now mind you, I'm in Turkey. She's in Canada. Within 2 weeks' time, he gives me a phone call back and lets me know, hey, by the way, FYI, I think I may have found someone for you. But, you know, just pray, you know, see if this might be the right person for you, right? And yo, let me tell you something. I went to the most beautiful mosques in all of Istanbul, and I started praying istikhara in every single one of them. I started taking pictures. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm telling you right now, this is not a joke, man. I'm praying that this actually might be like, you know, the truth. Like this might actually happen, you know, in all goodness. And alhamdulillah, subhanAllah, he told me, now the next thing that kind of put more butterflies in my stomach is the minute I asked him, I'm like, so who is this individual? And he goes, oh, it's just my twin sister. Hey, any guy that's listening to this, you know the feeling I'm feeling, right? Yeah, it's not exactly the most interesting one. But, yeah, no, I said, you know something? I'm like, I might as well go for this, because if I say no, then I'll be a dummy. I'll just be, I guess, negating what Allah is literally placing in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And alhamdulillah, me and Jessica, we spoke for roughly, give or take, and get ready for this. Okay?
Wait for it, guys.
From the day that I spoke to Jessica until the day that we were married, day that I spoke to her until the day that we were married, it was no more than 45 days, a month and a half.
We made it happen.
I will say this to the brothers, and I will say this to the sisters. Do not rush into anything if you meet someone. Me personally, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I liked. I asked her every single possible halal question.
And I asked too. So.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the best of my ability to get all the information that you need to know in regards to if this individual is going to be a good match as a future spouse, right? Like I was very adamant about finding out how does she feel about kids, and how does she feel about certain names, and how does she feel about traveling or living in certain parts of the world. Is she okay, you know, with, you know, me being a very loud and obnoxious human being, you know? By the way, guys, somebody told me this, and I think it should be something that should be definitely discussed before marriage, is who has control over the AC unit in the house. Okay, that's not a joke, okay? Because I'm always hot, she's always cold. That's all I gotta say.
He's a warm-blooded, I'm a cold-blooded. I don't know, I guess.
Anyways, but yeah, I knew what I wanted. I talked to her. I asked all the questions that I needed to ask. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And you know, at the point where I realized that I wanted to marry her, I first asked her, because I wasn't gonna go knock on someone's door and ask for her hand if she didn't want me. But I asked her first, and she said yes.
No, wait. Why don't we tell them what happened when you asked?
No.
Okay, so what happened was Omar, he texted me and asked me, and at that very moment that he asked me, I happened to be stuck in an elevator that stopped moving.
And the phone died.
And my phone had died. And because that iPhone that I had was so bad, the battery was like overdone. That moment, I just had like a panic attack. I did read the message, and I'm sure that he was on the other end waiting for that reply. So, how did you feel with that reply? That long wait that you had?
The long wait? You know, honestly,
He went crazy.
No, look.
Let's just be real here, honey.
Because
you asked
of
me for my hand and I disappeared. It freaked you out a bit.
There was a sense of like,
Oh my
okay,
God.
but wallahi, I remember when I was asking her to marry me, I actually I looked at the messages I'm sending it to her. It was a paragraph, by the way. It wasn't no.
It was an
No,
essay.
and remember, we're doing everything via distance. So sometimes I
Yeah.
wasn't able to make a phone call and stuff like that. And I felt like that was the moment that I wanted to let her know. And when I sent her that essay and she read it, I said to myself, by Allah, I have done everything for the sake of Allah. I have prayed so many, countless istikharas. I'm telling you right now, I have the dua memorized in my head without reading it.
We were both praying for us. We were both praying.
Remember, I'm telling only my part of the story. Remember this part, right?
Alhamdulillah.
I asked every single halal question I could ask. I made sure that in no way that was I disrespectful, had any form of bad demeanor. Like, I did everything for the sake of Allah. So I said to myself, I'm gonna ask, and if it happens, it's Allah's will. Khalas, I've done everything that I can. If she says no, khalas, it wasn't meant to be. And you know what the best part about it was? Even though I personally really, really wanted it to happen, simply because of the fact that we did it in such a halal fashion, alhamdulillah, that I was ready for the rejection because I didn't invest so much into the situation like people that go into regular relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. We're not here to tell you what's halal and what's haram. But when you go and dedicate so much time into a relationship, and then afterwards, at the end of the relationship, you end up finding that she's not the right person for you, or he's not the right person for you. And guess how much time you spent on that relationship? And you were 6 months, a year, 2 years. Now you're having a heartbreak. Now that person finds someone else. Nah, bro. Keep it halal. You keep it halal. You do everything for the sake of Allah. Wallahi, Allah will reward you in plenty.
And being honest was one of like the main things, like too, like
right?
getting straight to the point. What do you want? What do you want out of this marriage? Everything like that. So we set everything the way that it was, and it happened the way that it did, and alhamdulillah. So
like, alhamdulillah, everything just started getting rolling because the biggest point was my intentions were the best I could possibly make. You know what I mean? And the fact that I was so reliant on Allah, and alhamdulillah, our relationship is strong until now. We're 5 years married, alhamdulillah. You know what I mean? We got 2 beautiful kids, Allahu Akbar. And you know something? I'm not here to tell you this so I could brag to you. I'm letting you know that you're asking for this video because you want to know how you could pursue certain things. You know what I mean? How you could, if you're not married yet, how you could find a new spouse. If you've been married before, how you could find a better spouse than the previous spouse, right? This is here to let you know everything comes with its challenges, and every challenge could be overcome. And once you know that, don't even worry about the rest. Do what you need to do to make what you need to happen. And if it doesn't work out, it wasn't meant to be anyways.
exactly, alhamdulillah.
You know what I mean? Just, it's kind of like don't wonder, oh, what would it would be so amazing if I win that $10 million lottery ticket. Guess what? You weren't planning. You weren't supposed to win it anyways. You know what I mean? It wasn't gonna happen. You keep staring at it 100,000 times. It don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But yeah. So, in regards to our marriage, that's pretty much how me and Jessica got married. It was practically long distance. You know, text messages, video chats, phone calls. Most of it was usually monitorized by her family or my family. May Allah protect you guys. May Allah grant you guys the best of spouses. You know what I mean? And just an FYI, no relationship is perfect. Just so you know that, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, we smile and everything on camera right now
But
while you guys are watching.
Yeah,
we've had our fights, we've had our arguments, we've had our major disagreements and happy agreements. You know what I mean? But it's just part of life. Even the Prophet ﷺ had arguments with Aisha and some of the other spouses. You know what I mean? So just remember, everything comes with its challenges, but your job is to welcome the challenge and know how to overcome it.
Exactly.
And that's just all it is. Because once that challenge is overcome, guess what? Bada bing, bada boom. Here you go, 5 years later. You know?
And 2 babies later.
And 2 babies later.
Alhamdulillah. Allah
Maybe
Akbar.
3. But anyways, though, that's my side of the story. And there, of course, there's a lot more, but, you know.
Yeah, well, definitely. If you have any questions, inshallah, feel free to comment below. We'll definitely answer anything that you want. Yeah, that's it for the video today. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.